Get a free downloadable copy of the presentation I used in this video and get notified whenever I offer my $5 MBLExprep review class, which I'll be doing at least once a month. Simply go to my website or my Instagram, send me a message with your email address and which presentation you would like. Good luck, everybody. You believe a client's back pain is caused by his posture and want him to learn healthier patterns of movement. The modality best suited for this goal would be AMA, Alexander technique, acupressure, or trigger point release. And the answer is Alexander technique. And that's this slide is just to give you an introduction to what we're going to study tonight, which is not an accepted definition of the Feldenkrais method. So I'm just testing what you may know or what you intuitively think. The Feldenkrais method of somatic education uses gentle movement and directed attention to help people learn new and more effective ways of living the life they want. The Feldenkrais method is an educational system that uses movement to teach self-awareness and improve function. You can increase your ease and range of motion, improve your flexibility and coordination, and rediscover your innate capacity for graceful, efficient movement through Feldenkrais method. The Feldenkrais method is based on principles of physics, biomechanics, and an empirical understanding of learning and human development, or E, none of the above. So which answer is it? Which is not an accepted definition? Don't everybody call out all at once. Can't hear myself think. Somebody pick something.
B.
Okay, the answer is none of the above. So first I want you to understand why, and then I want you to understand the phrasing. So each one of these is a description of the Feldenkrais method. And I took these descriptions from different sources. So it comes from places like the Feldenkrais Guild of North America and the International Feldenkrais Foundation. So each of these has a hyperlink, and you guys can go check that out. And the second thing is the phrasing of the question, which is something that you know you can really miss a question, can make you or break you, right? So it says, which is not an accepted definition, which is not an accepted definition. This one is accepted, this one is accepted, this one is a definition, this one is a valid accepted definition. So the answer is none of the above. None of them are not. Recall that a double negative, the use of two negative words, none and not, equal a positive. None and not means all of the above are accepted definitions of the Feldenkrais method. Which of the following is not a definition of the Alexander technique? Alexander technique helps you to identify and lose the harmful habits you have built up over a lifetime of stress to learn and evolve more freely. The Alexander technique is a way to feel better and move in a more relaxed and comfortable way, the way nature intended. The 5 principles of the Alexander technique are, in order, recognition of the force of habit, inhibition and non-doing, recognition of faulty sensory awareness, sending direction, and the primary control. The Alexander technique teaches you how to change faulty postural habits. It enables improved mobility, posture, performance, and alertness, along with relief of chronic stiffness, tension, and stress. The Alexander technique is a skill for self-development, teaching you to change long-standing habits that cause unnecessary tension in everything you do. Or F, none of the above. So what do you guys think?
None of the above.
That's right, none of the above. Which of the following is not a definition? So what does it actually mean when you select F, none of the above, in answer to the question, which is not a definition? What does that actually mean? I know that you know the answer, just humor me. Marcos, what does it mean to select none of the above in response to the question, which is not a definition? Am I coming through? Are you hearing me, Marcos?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I have like a little lag in my internet. But I can hear you pretty good now.
Okay. What does it mean when you select none of the above for the question, which of
Oh
the
yeah,
following
well,
is
I
not
mean,
a definition?
yeah, well, I mean, honestly, the thing that stuck in my head was when you said none, not, none, not. So that's kind of like what's stuck in my head now, like the not, none, like, just to kind of pay attention for that and, always go like, if it's phrased that way, to just go that route.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't pick none of the above because the question has the word not in it. I
Okay.
wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do that. No.
Okay.
Think like which of the following is not the definition of the Alexander technique? And if you read A and you believe it's a definition, okay, so it's not A. If you read B and you
Mhm.
believe B is not it is a definition, okay, it's not B. The answer
Right,
is not
right,
B,
right.
right, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so let me just talk about C for a minute. This is a really good definition of the Alexander technique. You don't have to know it like super in depth, but I want you to understand like as much of the concept as possible. We're actually going to watch a short video on the Alexander technique lesson and a short video on the Feldenkrais method lesson in just a moment, so you can see what lessons are like and the differences between them, because
Okay.
they are very similar, and it could be confusing to differentiate, difficult to differentiate on the test. Um, so I think that the fourth and fifth directions for the Alexander technique, fourth and fifth principles, I think you can ignore. I think if you just keep in mind the recognition and the inhibition, I think that'll be enough for the Alexander technique. And as we get into it a little bit further, you'll start to see why, I hope. So I mean, if we pick any one of these definitions, you should see a little bit more why. So Alexander teaches you how to change faulty postural habits. What do you have to do in order to change a faulty postural habit? You have to recognize the force of habit. You have to recognize that the habit exists. Like if I reach for something and do this every time I reach for something, this is the force of habit. The force of habit is another phrase for unconscious type movement, unconscious pattern of movement. And then the inhibition and non-doing, oh, I'm doing it again, so I'm going to inhibit my upper trap. I'm going to inhibit my shoulder from elevating. Inhibition. And then non-doing, instead of this would be doing, right? Holding it down with my hand. Contracting my lats or contracting my pecs to keep my shoulders down, that would be doing, right? Instead, I'm going to not do. Recognition and inhibition. Okay, and here's some links you guys can go read a little bit more if you want to. Notice that if you do go to these sources, notice that all of their writing has kind of a similar way of describing things. And that's because they've all been taught from the same source, from F. Matthias Alexander's writings, etc. Right? Okay, onward we go. Compare the Alexander technique and the Feldenkrais method. Feldenkrais method typically does not address posture directly, whereas the Alexander technique focuses on dynamic posture. Josh, what does dynamic posture mean? What do you think dynamic posture means?
Just throwing it out there, but maybe just like your whole body, not just your spine, but your neck, your shoulders,
that is a very good guess.
Okay.
That is a very good guess. Yes, I would say that sounds more like integrated or integrative posture. So I would say that this is an example of posture, and that this is an example of dynamic posture, sitting down and then standing up. So moving through space, how you lead with your head, whether you lead with your head, how you use your back, your glutes, the weight in your feet, etc. So your posture, your alignment while moving is dynamic. In the Alexander technique, the teacher provides more clear direction to the student, whereas in the Feldenkrais method, the teacher makes a point of not directing toward a specific outcome. And that is true, that is correct. Both are based on compatible models of human function, but are taught differently. All the answer is D, all these are correct. Feldenkrais uses slow, guided explorations of more than 2,000 movement patterns, which are often unfamiliar, whereas Alexander uses conscious application of simple principles of good motor function, or good dynamic posture, or good movement to daily activities. Therefore, one can apply Alexander principles to Feldenkrais activity. So the idea of how to move, the application of dynamic posture, or of good body mechanics, concept of good body mechanics, onto a movement pattern that's unfamiliar from Feldenkrais, the two can actually work together. In the end, they both achieve very similar results: relief from pain, better movement, even more open-mindedness, awareness of how your thoughts and emotions and beliefs are affecting how you use your body, right? You'll get like really, really tall clients who come in and they're like this, you know, because the world isn't built for people who are 6'5", 7 feet tall, you know, and they have to stoop like too often. Or you get like really big guys who tried all their lives not to be aggressive because it gets them into trouble. And they walk around like that because they're trying to make themselves a little more less intimidating, a little smaller, right? And you get like small guys who are just like, they're just the boss. They come in, they're like, they're ready for whatever. Go ahead. Anyway, so, oh, okay. So before we go on to the Chinese medicine stuff, sorry, I get a little carried away with my acting. So how do I get out of this? There we go. Okay, so before we move on to the Chinese medicine, I just want to show you guys a 60-second, maybe even 30-second video of Feldenkrais compared to Alexander. So here's the Alexander technique. Okay, so the teacher is instructing this person on standing up from a chair and sitting down. And the Alexander technique teacher has their hands on the student's skull in order to cue or lead the person from the head. So the instructions are: allow your neck to release, allow your head to come forward and up, and stand up from the chair using the movement of the head. So let's take a look. Let me just make sure I'm going to show you. Yeah.
Unnecessary tension, that's understood. To let the head balance up on the neck's not leaning forward, so that the spine can lengthen during the act of whatever you are doing, and the shoulders can soften and widen out. Softening, widening out across the whole torso, widens. Now I'd like you to just sit down again, as you did, and then if you stand up again. So in light of what I just was talking about then, the head-neck back relationship was very much jeopardized. Our head weighs about 4.5 kilos. That's a lot, sitting on a little neck.
Okay, and then let's look at the most replayed section, which is right here, showing her guiding the student into standing up. So watch how she
coming forward, but that's all right. We gently let the head float up again. Yes, and up you go. Lovely. Strengthening, letting the back lengthen, torso to soften and widen. And widen. Beautiful. Just quiet. Yes. Nice. See this?
I'm going to back up.
And then I know, watch the chin. That's going to work. A little bit of arms coming forward, but that's all right. We gently let the head float up again.
You guys get the idea? You get some of the flavor of Alexander technique? Any like confusion here? Let me know if there is. Okay, great. So then let's move on to Feldenkrais. So this is Moshe Feldenkrais. He's actually teaching class, and let's see. It's like he's just like walking around a lot. This is sorry, actually, yeah. So we don't actually really want to watch Feldenkrais, but himself. But you can see that he's talking to people, and there's lots of people in the class, and they're all sitting down on mats. So right away you can see that the context is different. It's not a one-on-one lesson. Alexander can be taught in classes. Feldenkrais can be taught one-on-one. But let's see if we can get you something that looks more like a standard Feldenkrais. Yeah. So let's just start here and see what we get. And let's also listen to the
some profound way accurately about herself. The movement here is very discreetly in the lower back. Here, there's like there's like play there in the last 2 or 3 lumbar vertebrae. You feel it? They slide with the pelvis. So
you see what he's doing is his hands clasped over the femur, over the upper leg, and he's leaning back. So he's actually tractioning the client's leg up and away. And that half of his pelvis is then pulling down away, like down toward the foot, away from the shoulder, away from the head, which would cause some amount of side bending like this and distraction or decompression of half the spine on that half, right? And he's saying, do you feel that? Can you discern how that's moving, right? So he's giving him an experience, he's helping him to experience his body in new ways, different ways, helping him to collect information, right? So that's one part of Feldenkrais. Another part of Feldenkrais, which, because I don't want to keep spending too much time on this, another part of Feldenkrais is, like you saw people on the mat, having them move in certain ways. They may say, okay, you're sitting on your rear right now. Now I want you to transition onto your elbows and then turn and then stand up, right? And some people may go 1 elbow, 1 hand. Some people may go straight back to 2 elbows and then roll, right? So it's noticing how you move as a default and then trying to choose different movements and establish different patterns, right? It really is about like opening your mental capacity to experiment and collect information and be creative. Okay, so you might be recommending Alexander or Feldenkrais to people. I think that if you're going to make recommendations, clinically speaking, it should be as a result of having worked with specific people. So go out there and find an Alexander and a Feldenkrais practitioner and say, hey, I'm starting my massage practice and I'm looking for people to refer to, and also looking to learn more about different modalities. So would you like to do a trade? Would you be interested in doing a trade? You know, or could I come to one of your classes? Something like that. Okay, so now we're going to move on. Oh, any questions about Alexander, Feldenkrais, differences, similarities? Okay, so now we're going to move on to Chinese medicine aspects. Understand that Chinese medicine is the same as traditional Chinese medicine, and when they say acupuncture or meridian theory, meridian therapy, that is part of Chinese medicine. So traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture traditional Chinese medicine or Chinese medicine includes acupuncture and herbal medicine. It also includes dietary therapy, movement therapy, guasa and cupping. Okay, so basic concepts here, yin and yang. Which are the yin and which are the yang? So these are the yin organs, the names of the yin organs, the yang organs, and the yin meridians and yang meridians. So whether it's lung organ or lung meridian, it's still yin, right? So the yin are the lung, spleen, heart, kidney, pericardium, liver, or are they? Oh, and I should have put, yeah, I see what I did. Oh, yeah, I see what I did. Okay. Lung, large intestine, stomach and spleen, heart, small intestine, bladder and kidney, pericardium, triple heater, gallbladder, and liver. So, you know, really what I want you to notice in this, what I want you to notice on this slide is that most of these answers include combinations of yin and yang. You guys are probably not entirely clear which are yin and which are yang. That's fine. My advice to you is simply to memorize them. And we'll look at those in a minute now. Let me just go over them again. So lung is yin, spleen, yin, heart, yin, kidney, pericardium, liver, those are all yin. Lung is yin, large intestine and stomach, those are yang. Spleen is yin. Heart and kidney are yin. Small intestine and bladder are yang. Pericardium, triple heater, gallbladder, liver and pericardium, again, are yin, and the inner two, the triple heater and gallbladder, are yang. This is actually the flow of qi through the body. Flow of meridians through the body, starting at the lung meridian and ending in the liver meridian. It's also the movement of qi through the meridians and through the organs. And it's also the pairs. So this is just a handy layout to help you remember how these things are paired. We'll look at it right now. Well, not right now, but in a minute. Okay, what is another name for the Sanjiao in Chinese medicine, TCM? Again, this is foundational stuff that I want you to learn. Pericardium, is the Sanjiao the pericardium? Is the Sanjiao the triple burner or triple heater? Is the Sanjiao the small intestine, or is the Sanjiao the governing vessel? The answer is the triple burner or the triple heater. San means 3 in Chinese. Yi, san, si, go, rok. Anyway, so actually I messed up 6, I don't remember 6. But san means 3, and Sanjiao means triple burner or triple heater or triple warmer. So you'll see all those: triple burner, triple heater, triple warmer, Sanjiao. The Sanjiao is not a discrete organ, unlike the pericardium or the small intestine. It's a region. So for the Sanjiao, the upper third is from about the diaphragm up to the top of the head. The middle third is from about the diaphragm down to like the top of the pelvis, the ASIS, and the lower third is from the ASIS down to the feet. So it's like urinary bladder, reproductive organs, and then kidneys, digestion. There we go. Sorry, my headset side for some reason. So let's look at this thing here. This is the same circuit that it's the same circuit that we saw earlier when we saw this question here, right? That starts with lung, goes to spleen, starts with heart, goes to kidney, starts with pericardium, goes to liver, starts all over again at lung. So this is from Peter Dedman, a manual of acupuncture. Let's read this up here because this will be helpful. So the 3 yin channels of the hand, which are the lung, the pericardium, and the heart, right? So it's lung, pericardium, and heart, right? The 3 yin channels of the hand, they begin in the chest and they travel down along the inner surface of the arm to the hand. I guess I better, yeah, we'll just keep going like this. The 3 yang channels of the hand, which are the large intestine, and then the Sanjiao, and then the small intestine. They start on the hand and they travel along the outer surface of the arm and they go up into the head. And then the 3 yang channels of the foot, the stomach, the gallbladder, And then the bladder, they begin on the face in the region of the eye, and they travel down the body and along the outer surface of the leg, side and back, and they go down to the foot. The 3 yin channels of the foot, spleen, the liver, and the kidney, they start on the foot and they travel along the inner surface of the leg, and they end in the torso, the chest or the flank, right? Liver, spleen, kidney. So that's the movement, the area of the meridians. We're going to come back to this in just a minute. And if you look at this chart, can you guys see this okay? Is anybody okay? Good. So if you look at this chart, you can see like the broad regions where the meridians travel. These are what are called the cutaneous regions. That's like if you took the lung meridian, instead of moving at like a, just forget if it's inside or the outside, the outside. If instead of drawing a line this way for the lung meridian, you would draw like a line that got wider where the surface of the forearm gets wider, and then got more narrow where it enters in between the ribs, right? That's the cutaneous region. And if you look at these regions and combine them with their adjacent meridians, they start to really make sense. So the beginning of the circuit, which is the lung, pairs with the spleen, and you can see that the lung here starts in the thumb, and there's a wide strip going up the forearm right into the deltopectoral area. And then the spleen begins on the big toe and then goes up the medial side of the leg and then into the flank here, into the lower ribs and part of the hips. And then it's the lung, large intestine, stomach, and spleen in the first circuit. So next, if we look at the large intestine and the stomach, here it's stomach and large intestine. If you look at that, the large intestine starts on the backside of the index finger. It's not shown there, unfortunately. And it goes up the back of the arm and it wraps over the upper trapezius and goes to the face. Actually goes to the opposite side of the nose, but it doesn't matter. And then for the stomach, the stomach starts at the second toe. No, the stomach starts at the eye. And because it's a cutaneous region, it's bigger than just a distinct line, right? It's almost the whole one side of the face, right? And meridians are bilateral. So it's the entire face for the stomach. And then it comes down the front of the body, goes down the front of the thigh, and ends in the front of the foot. So it's for the large intestine, it's like the front or radial side. It's like the radial side of the arm and then the front of the face. And for the stomach, it's the front of the face and then the whole front side of the body and then the front of the leg down to the front of the foot. So you can also think about it that way, is that the lung and the spleen are slightly on the inside, right? So look here, this is slightly on the inside. Yeah, the thumb is radiating outward because that's anatomical position. But actually think about this as the inside, because the thumb is analogous to the toe. That's part of one of the cool things that Chinese medicine teaches you, is that the body is divided into a top half that's analogous to the bottom half, 5 fingers and 5 toes, with a great toe that has two, that's a phalanx, and a thumb that's I guess a phalanx-like thing. So the spleen and the lung are slightly on the inside, and then the kidney and then the liver is even more on the inside. See how far on the inside of the lower leg it is compared to the spleen? See, it's just a little bit more on the inside. It's going to the back of the knee. The spleen doesn't go to the back of the knee. The liver is going into the groin. The spleen goes to the outside of the inguinal area. Right? And then the pericardium compared to the lung is more on the middle, inside. And then if you look at, for example, the kidney and heart, These are all yin, spleen, lung, kidney, heart, liver, pericardium. The kidney is the most posterior aspect of the leg and groin, and the heart is the most inside aspect of the hand. Okay, so I misspoke. So I would consider the lung to be the most outside of the yin hand meridians, pericardium to be the middle inside, and the heart to be the most inside, most medial of the hand meridians. Okay, very important. If you look at the bladder meridian, the bladder and the small intestine meridian, they cover the entire back surface of the body. So the bladder meridian really rules the back of the body, which is why it's called the greatest yang, the Tai Yang. And then the gallbladder and triple heater, they're on the sides of the body. Look how they're on the sides, right? And then for the stomach and large intestine, which we covered a moment ago, those are very much in the front of the body. So if you can learn to think of the body in terms of the meridians as the front, the back, and the sides, that's a really handy way to organize all of the meridians, like where the meridians are, right? So the front is the stomach and large intestine, lung and spleen, lung, large intestine, stomach, and spleen. Let me hear you say lung, large intestine, stomach, and spleen. Lung, large intestine, stomach, and spleen. I don't have to hear you, just say it. And then the back is the kidney and heart, bladder, and small intestine. I'm sorry, kidney. Oh, let me start over. The back is heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney. Heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney. Let me hear you say that. Heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney. I need to see mouths moving. Heart, small intestine, bladder, and kidney. Some of you are not participating. Heart, small intestine, bladder, and kidney. Back surface of the body. Okay, I'm giving up. And then the sides of the body are the liver, are the pericardium, triple heater, gallbladder, and liver. Pericardium, triple heater, gallbladder, and liver. Pericardium, triple heater, gallbladder, and liver. Now let's go back to this one. Okay, so we just covered where the yin channels and the yang channels go, where they start and where they go. The yin channels start in the hand and they go up to the chest. Yeah. And the yang channels of the hand, they start on the hand and they go to the head. The yang channels of the foot, including stomach, gallbladder, and small intestine, they start on the face and they go down the outer surface and the back surface of the body to the foot. The yin channels, the spleen, liver, and kidney, they start on the foot and they travel up into the torso. So now let's put them in order. So the beginning of the circuit is always the lung and the end of the circuit is always the liver. And that's actually how we think about it in acupuncture. Like when we want to really, really, really cycle the chi, like push the energy through the whole body really strongly, we don't just needle like one meridian here, one meridian there. We intentionally needle the last point on the liver meridian, where the chi is right about to turn over to the first point of the lung meridian. So the last point of the liver meridian is about here, and the first point of the lung meridian is here. So we would always needle these two on both sides, and then maybe needle the other end, the very end of the lung meridian. So you have the beginning and the end of the lung meridian, and then you have the end, and then on the foot, the beginning of the liver meridian. Beginning of the liver meridian. So you just repeat it over and over again. Can I see on a show of hands how many people are like really struggling to maintain their attention, to be engaged? Okay, good, I'm glad. Lung, large intestine, stomach, spleen. Lung, large intestine, stomach, spleen. Heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney. Heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney. Pericardium, sangel, gallbladder, liver. Pericardium, sangel, gallbladder, liver. Liver, lung. Lung, large intestine, stomach, spleen. Heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney. Pericardium, sangel, bladder, gallbladder, liver. Lung, large intestine, stomach, spleen. Try. Lung, large intestine, stomach, spleen. Heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney. pericardium, sanjiao, gallbladder, liver, lung. So I guarantee if you do that like a couple times a day after 3 days, you'll have it pretty solid. Maybe not 100%, but pretty solid. And look at them as remember to look at them as circuits. And these are the sides of the body, right? So first circuit, lung through spleen, that's the front. Second circuit, heart through kidney, that's the back. Third circuit, pericardium through liver, that's the sides. And then recognize also that they're organized as the chest to hand. So lung starts in the chest, heart starts in the chest, pericardium starts in the chest, goes to the hand. Large intestine, small intestine, and triple heater start in the hand into the face. Stomach, bladder, and gallbladder start in the face, in the foot. Spleen, kidney, liver start in the foot and then go back to the chest. They had this whole thing like shifted over and they had like chest written here and it just looked like really, really unclear. And I like fixed it up for you. You're welcome. All right. Now, oh, you thought you were done with this nonsense, huh? You have pain, you learn quick. So here's the circuit: lung, large intestine, stomach, spleen, heart, small intestine, bladder, kidney, pericardium, triple warmer, triple burner, triple heater, sanjiao, gallbladder, liver, right? There's the circuit. And there's the time. So you start with the lung. Lung always starts at 3 a.m. I'll give you a story to remember it by. Professor of mine, most esteemed individual named Raleigh Brown, great teacher, great acupuncturist, great musician. Raleigh Brown in Pennsylvania tells us the story that his mother passed when he was in acupuncture school. And he started waking up around 3 a.m. every morning crying. And he couldn't figure out why he was waking up until a colleague in acupuncture school pointed out to him, that's the lung time. Lung is associated with the emotion grief. So he was waking up, naturally his body was grieving at that time. So remember something like that, to correlate 3 a.m. with the lung time. And you just remember it's 2-hour blocks, 3 to 5 for the lung, 5 to 7 for the large intestine, 7 to 9 for the stomach, 9 to 11 for the spleen, 11 a.m. to 1 for the heart, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. for the small intestine, 3 to 5 p.m. for the bladder, 5 to 7 p.m. for the kidney, 7 to 9 p.m. for the pericardium, 9 to 11 for the sanjiao, 11 to 1 a.m. for the gallbladder, 1 to 3 a.m. for the liver. Okay, so now we're going to look at what's next. I think the 5 elements. Okay, we looked at this cutaneous regions, or front, back, and sides, or 3 zones: front zone, back zone, side zone, region. Now we're going to do a few questions, and then we'll look at the 5 elements of Chinese medicine, including those emotions and stuff like that. Okay, which meridian starts in the face and ends in the hand? Everybody unmute. Which meridian starts in the face and ends in the hand? Starts in the face and ends in the hand. Meridian. You know what? Let me just which meridian starts in the face? Where did I put? Okay, starts in the face, stomach, spleen, heart, lung. Yeah, which meridian starts in the face and ends in the hand? Which one? It's actually a trick question. The answer is none of the above. No meridian starts in the face and ends in the hand. So I'll ask you guys right now, out of respect for your time, do you want me to change that? It would be easy for me to change it. There is no meridian that starts in the face and ends in the hand. So the stomach starts in the face and ends in the foot. Spleen starts in the foot, ends in the face. The heart starts where, Josh?
And
The heart actually it starts in the chest.
chest, of course.
The yin hand meridians start in the chest. Well, just because the organs in the chest doesn't mean that it starts there. You know, the kidneys in the pelvis, but it starts in the foot. So the heart, the lung, and the pericardium, those are the yin channels that travel through the hand. They start in the chest and they end in the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the, it's not listed, but for the large intestine, Sanjiao, and small intestine, they have a relationship between the hand and the face. So do they start in the face and end of the hand? Or do they start in the hand and end of the face, Josh?
Start in the hand.
And end in the face. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Is that exactly right? Large intestine? Yes, that is exactly right. Yes. And yes, after like 15 years, I always have to be like, okay, which point is that? Which point is this? Yes. So do you guys like the question as it is?
It's nice. A little tricky.
Okay, you want it to be less tricky? No problem.
Oh no, it's fine.
Go
Like
for
I
it.
just because I mean that's how the questions are on the MBLEx as well. You know, they're
Yeah,
a
it might
little
be.
bit.
But nobody
Yeah.
really strongly objects to it phrased this way, being tricky?
No. No.
Okay, okay, cool. All right. And then the next, sorry guys. And then the next one, which of the following two meridians end on the foot? Which of the following two end on the foot? Remember that the yang foot meridians, they start in the face and they end in the foot. The yin meridians of the foot, they start in the foot and they end in the torso. So which two meridians end on the foot? End on the foot. That means they have to start in the face. Is it the spleen and the stomach? Is that two yin, two yang, or yin and a yang, Marcos? Spleen and stomach, is that? Remember,
Spleen and
lung,
stomach will
large
be
intestine, stomach, and spleen. Two yin on the outside.
that'll be a
two
yang, right?
That's right. The stomach is
Yeah.
yang. The spleen is
Yeah.
what? Yang or yin?
Yin.
Yin.
Yeah.
Liver and gallbladder. Do liver and gallbladder, do they both end on the foot? Charday. Do they both end on the foot, liver and gallbladder?
Oh,
Let's go back to this circuit here. Recall that these meridians that bookend all three circuits, those are yin, and the ones on the inside are yang. So it goes yin, yang, yang, yin. I don't think I told you this. I think I just like bunched them up as like yin, yang, yin, yang. No, yin, yang, yang, yin. So we're talking about gallbladder and liver, Charday. So gallbladder is yang, liver is yin. So yin, yang, yang, yin. All right. So if you see a question like which two meridians start in the face and end in the, which two meridians end on the foot, and you have a yin and a yang meridian together, you know it's not that answer because that's not how it works. Yin starts in the foot, the yang starts in the face. So Charday, what about C? Two meridians that end on the foot. It's the spleen that starts on the foot, but not the stomach. Or is it the gallbladder that starts on the foot, but not the liver? Which one, Charday? Spleen is yin, liver is yin.
I'm looking at I'm on my phone looking at the actual graph that you said, so I'm trying to.
Okay.
And it says in the foot, right? It would be the
Ending in the foot. All the yin meridians start in the foot. All the yang meridians end in the foot. So
right.
it says the spleen, but not the stomach. It can't be that one. You see that? Because the spleen is yin.
Yeah.
You know what transitory thinking? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what transitory thinking is? It's A equals B, and B also equals C. So A equals C. It's learning to skip over B. So it's like spleen is yin, and yin starts in the foot.
Right. but not.
So it cannot end in the foot, right? So
Yeah.
that's transitory thinking. 1, then 2, then 3,
Okay.
right? Stomach's ends in the foot. Stomach is yang. Stomach ends in the foot. Yang ends in the foot. Ends in the foot. Yeah, it'd have to be stomach. So it's not this. It's the gallbladder,
Yeah.
but not the liver. So you guys look at that question like once or twice a day. Maybe I should make like 6 questions like that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Marcus is always down for more questions.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, yeah. Give me the feedback. This is your class. Yeah. Giovanni
No, yeah.
from Giovanni Macchioccia, The Foundations of Chinese Medicine, Chapter 1. So these are the 5 elements of Chinese medicine, 5 elements of Taoist philosophy, Taoist medicine. And these are 2 different cycles. So wood generates fire, right? Wood is used to create fire. Fire then generates earth. As it burns material, it produces earth. Earth gives rise to metal. And you got to stretch your mind a little bit. Metal gives rise to water. Metal, when heated, becomes water. Huh? I don't know. Nobody ever said that Chinese medicine was perfect. Damn near, but not perfect. Water nourishes, creates wood. Wood generates fire. Fire generates earth. Earth generates metal. Metal generates water. Water generates wood. And then there's the controlling or overacting, right? So you can think of it as wood holds back earth. Earth holds back water. Earth, the banks of the river contain the water. Water restrains fire. Fire controls metal, determines if metal is solid or liquid. Metal controls or cuts wood, right? And the wood restrains the earth, like trees and plants and stuff, they keep the earth from eroding from the banks of the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty beautiful actually.
It
Okay,
really
so
is.
say again?
I said it really is though. Like,
Yes, yes it is. All the old medicines before all the bullshit are really beautiful. You know, just the medicines themselves, when we take out all the politics and all the everything else that like people have put on top of it with all of their like greed and judgment, the medicine itself, like just in the need to understand the universe and how we're a microcosm of it and to help each other and to help ourselves, really beautiful. And all cultures have the same need.
mm-hmm.
So now here's the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Josh, is that the generating or the controlling sequence in this order? Wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Does wood give rise to fire or does it control fire? I think I saw gives rise. Your mute is on, but
Yeah.
that's cool.
Oh, gives rise. Yeah.
Gives rise, yeah. So would that be the generating or the controlling cycle?
Generating.
Generating, right. And what's another word for controlling? Is it the overacting cycle or is it the creation cycle?
Overacting.
Sure.
Yes, overacting. Yes, sure.
Oh, was that just for him? I'm sorry. I thought it was
It's all
just
right.
the out there question.
That's okay. No big deal. So there's I think like 24 correspondences. A correspondence is, you know, what season is wood, what color is wood, what emotions are wood. But I just chopped it all down and organized it into like the half dozen or so that I think are the most important, most likely to see, and I think the most useful. So for wood, the season is spring. So in the springtime, that's when the shoots start to press up from the ground. That's when the greenery, the color of green is wood. The green shoots start to press up through the hard frozen ground in the springtime. That's like fall, March, April. Right? And that pushing energy can be very, very, very extremely forward moving. The liver is called the will that can be willed. Like if you're just determined to move forward, the shoot is determined to press up out of the seed, out of the ground. It can do it by will alone. The kidney is called the will that cannot be willed. You either have it or you don't. We'll get to that later. And so the emotion, that emotion of forward pressing, is correlated a lot of times with anger, which is the extreme of frustration. Think of a shoot pressing through something hard, right? There's a lot of like compacted energy that's really, really, really like a can where you're increasing the pressure, or a tire where you're increasing the pressure until finally it explodes, right? That's like anger. Unless you turn it inward, in which case it's called depression. Anger turned inward leads to depression. And the sound is shouting, right? Shouting, that should be no surprise, right? That's the energy, the forward explosive energy of the voice is the shout. And the organs that the wood element is associated with are the liver and the gallbladder. You've heard the phrase like, you have some gall, you have some nerve, like you got nerves of steel, and to say or do what you're doing requires severe gall, right? They sometimes have said, you have some spleen. That's like they say that in some cultures. You got some spleen, you know that. Liver and gallbladder, wood organs. Liver and gallbladder, wood meridians. The wood organs open to the eyes, so you can assess the quality of the gallbladder and the liver in the eyes. Redness of the eyes for liver, psoriasis, stuff like that, inflammation. Yellowing of the eyes for the gallbladder, bile for jaundice. And the tissue that the wood element governs is the sinews. So the sinews in Chinese medicine are the tendons, the ligaments, the joint capsules, and to an extent the fascia. So it's like all the connective tissue. I'm blanking right now. What is that white material made up of? It's made up of white material that makes up tendons. There's two materials, right? One is collagen and the other is what?
I only can think of collagen.
Elastin. Elastin, I think, yeah. Well, mostly collagen, right? For tendons and connective tissue. Yeah. Okay, so now question for you guys. There's 5 elements. Do you want me to go through all of the correspondences for each of these? Because when I was learning this stuff, I started spacing out after the second element, and I needed to digest it gradually over several months. Do you guys want me to go through this for you now, or you want to move on?
I would say move on.
Okay. How many say move on? Raise your hand, please. Okay. Okay. And you want to hear some of it, Josh?
I mean, either way is good. It sounds like people are ready to move on. That's okay.
All right. All right. All right.
I would have a question about it maybe another time though.
No, ask now. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess it's kind of, I feel like it's with the topic, but it's about I guess joint pain. Like, so would joint pain, would that be more sinews? Would that, or would it,
Great question.
Would it be more in the winter with the water and the bones? Like what?
Great question. Great thinking. Yes. I mean, that's the question to ask before you go into the room and see the client, right? Like when they've called you or texted you or emailed you and said, I'm a new client, I'm coming in for knee pain. That's what you think. You're like, okay, is this like the sinews of the knee, or is this more osteoarthritis, right? Is it worse in the wintertime, worse with the cold, or is it worse like in the summertime when there's a lot of humidity in the environment and it's hot, worse with heat, right? Is it hot and swollen? Is it cold, bone on bone, worse with cold in the wintertime, right? So that's a great question to ask before your client comes in. So the water element, the kidneys, they show up in the bones, right? Healthy bones, healthy kidneys. Unhealthy bones, like weak bones, possible kidney energy problem.
So it could be,
And then,
could it be as simple of as dehydration, or is it
no,
more?
don't think of it quite like that. Think of it more like the energy of the kidney. The kidneys are the deepest part of the body. So like all the organs are, they're like in front of the peritoneum. So the peritoneum is like it's like a sac. It's in the front, under the diaphragm, all the way to the back. So this is the peritoneum. I believe it's in the front. Is it in the front as well as the back? Okay, let's just say it's in the back, okay? Just to, so I don't mislead you. Because I know it's in the back for sure. I'm not sure if it's in the front. So the wrapping connects tissue from the diaphragm all the way down to the pelvis on the posterior surface. It covers the spine, it covers the spinal erectors, it covers the psoas, I believe, and the kidneys are the single organs that are behind the peritoneum. They are retroperitoneal. That's considered to be extremely deep in the body, right? Not deep this way, but deep this way. Shallow, deep, right? The deepest part of the body also, the part of the structure is the bones. The most shallow part is the skin. Actually, the most shallow part is the hair, but the hair followed by the skin, followed by the muscles, followed by the sinews, followed by the bones at the deepest level. So if someone has a bone, if someone's kidney energy is, faulty for some reason, which in Chinese medicine, saying someone's kidney energy is weak really means genetically predisposed to something. Like the kidney energy is the genetic energy, the will you can't will. You either have it or you don't. You're built like that or you're not, right? So if they are predisposed to osteoarthritis at an early age, we would definitely needle points on the kidney meridian, give them kidney nourishing herbs, tell them to sleep more than they work, which nourishes the deep energy of the body. And, kind of hope for the best, hope that mitigates things over the course of each year. And then just tell them, and then just expect to see a little bit of worsening of the joint pain, worsening of the bone pain during the winter time, and lessening of the bone pain during the rest of the year. Let's take a break and then come back and do some questions. Sound good?
I'm going to take 15 seconds to ask you for a donation. If this video helps you, please say thank you by sending a donation using one of the links in the description. Your helping to support me financially makes an enormous difference to my morale and frees me up from doing other jobs so I can do this more. Thank you. Now on with the video.
Okay, here we go. Please ask for clarification if you need any, as usual. Ron is a regular client. He works as the IT director at a major law firm. Constantly working on a computer is increasingly uncomfortable on his back. You have attempted to educate him on his posture and have encouraged him to try different positions to alleviate his discomfort. The worsening of his back pain is evidence that the 5 or so minutes during the exit interview that you spend on educating him is not sufficient. What modality would you introduce to help him obtain relief from back pain? Would it be AMA, Alexander technique, active isolated stretching, or would it be acupressure?
Alexander.
My money, yes, my money would be on Alexander, because Alexander technique deals with posture, see that? And different positions to alleviate discomfort. Yes. In TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, what emotion is associated with the wood element? Is it anger, fear, joy, or pensiveness? Pensiveness is also called worry.
Anger.
Anger, that's right, anger. Anger. And here's their TCM, overcrowded TCM 5-element wheel, which is pretty lousy, I think. When checking an ill or injured person for the purpose of first aid, an adult is defined as 12 years of age or older, 16 years of age or older, 18 years of age or older, 20 years of age or older. 12, 16, 18, or 20, an adult, for the purposes of first aid.
18.
12 years or older. For the purposes of first aid, an adult is defined as a person who is about 12 or older. For first aid purposes, a child is defined as a person who is between the ages of about 1 and 12. For first aid purposes, an infant is defined as a person who is less than 1 year of age.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get into this tonight, but I really want to give you guys a much better drawing, much better images of the auras and the chakras, which we'll look at next time. The 7th aura deals with the connection to all creations and is what color? The 7th aura deals with the connection to all creations and is what color? All of creation and is what color? Purple. I was confused indigo and purple. We'll clarify that next. Purple. Which of the following therapeutic modalities is utilized for the relief and control of myofascial pain and dysfunction with the use of certain point compressions? Point compressions. What does that sound like? Myofascial pain and dysfunction using certain point compressions. Is that Traeger, trigger point myotherapy, Rolfing, or Thai? Which of the following, trigger point myotherapy.
No, yeah, I was about to say trigger point.
Yes, trigger point.
I just learned about Rolfing.
Rolfing is no joke.
Yeah, I saw.
So, next, surface edema occurs in the superficial 0.3 of a millimeter, or 0.3 millimeters of the skin. When working with lymphatic drainage massage, what is the depth of pressure used? Surface edema occurs in the superficial 0.3 or 0.3 of a millimeter of the skin. When working with lymphatic drainage massage, what is the depth of pressure used? 1 to 5 pounds PSI, 8 to 12 ounces PSI, 5 to 10 pounds PSI, 10 to 15 pounds PSI. What do you think? Take a guess.
I would say either the 1 to 5 pounds or the 8 to 12 ounces, because I know you don't need a lot of pressure.
That's right. 8 to 12 ounces is the correct answer. One of the major principles of lymphatic drainage massage is pressure. The depth of pressure per square inch is 8 to 12 ounces according to the most used Vader technique. Who would you help first when injuries at a construction site occurred? Who would you help first when injuries at a construction site occurred? An adult who has broken his arm and bleeding, female calmly holding her head and breathing, a person asking for ice to put on his ankle and help up, or a male stumbling from the scene? The answer that YouGoPrep gives is a male stumbling from the scene.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, the explanation makes sense. Check the scene, assigning someone when available to call 911 and care for the victims. The person who is stumbling away may be in shock and the most hurt. Bring him closer to the other victims and check for major injuries. Then perform first aid on the broken, bleeding arm. Then check the others. Adult who's broken his arm is number 2. Female calmly holding her head and breathing. Person asking for ice to put on his ankle and help up. These 2 are last. Male stumbling from the scene is first. Ron is on a community soccer league team. Last week, he went for a slide kick at the same time as a defender and got kicked in the left calf muscle. He iced it right away, and every day since, there's no visible bruising and it didn't seem as if the kick was that hard. Now when he walks and runs, he still feels as if something is holding the muscle in an activated position. From the following treatment techniques, which is the best application that will increase range of motion and align the muscle tissue? So if it's his calf muscle and he feels that it is still activated, the calf muscle does that, right? So to contract the calf muscle is to plantar flex. So would it be activated isolated stretching, Alexander technique, Aston patterning, or acupressure to increase range of motion and align the muscle tissues? Which would it be? Active isolated stretching.
Yeah.
Known as the MATS or Mattis method, is a modality used to provide effective stretching of major muscle groups, a type of athletic stretching method used to lengthen muscles and release fascia. It restores physiological traits by increasing the function of the superficial and deep fascial layers. Stretching also would require us to increase the range of motion in the joint. Remember, it's joint flexibility, muscle flexibility, soft tissue flexibility, which equals full range of motion, right? Increased range of motion. Think joint and soft tissue. The term blank was coined by René Maurice Getefos in 1928. Aromatic plants, aromatherapy, essential oils, infusion.
Aromatherapy.
Yeah. Which method works toward bringing unconscious movement into conscious awareness so it can be used as a tool for opening the human potential through movement re-education and functional integration? Through movement re-education and functional integration. Is it the Feldenkrais method? Feldenkrais method connective tissue massage, oncology massage, or cryotherapy? Bringing unconscious movement into conscious awareness. Conscious movement, unconscious movement, does that sound like connective tissue massage? Does that sound like massage? Not really. Movement? Not really. Does that sound like oncology massage? No, oncology is a study and treatment of cancer, right? And then cryotherapy? No. No. Feldenkrais method. Developed by Moshe Feldenkrais to establish new connections between the brain and the body through movement re-education and functional integration. Sessions can be one-on-one or in a group. Martha has been working at a local grocery store for 20 years. She would like to work for at least 20 more. She was diagnosed with a repetitive strain injury on her wrist. She hopes massage will help the pain subside. During the massage, you notice postural strains, weakness, and hypertonicity in her lower body, neck, and shoulders. This is more than likely caused by standing at the cash register for a long period of time. You inform Martha that proper posture will help decrease and eventually eliminate the strain on her body. What technique would you use to educate Martha on proper alignment and posture while working? Would that be AMA technique, active isolated stretching, Alexander technique, or acupressure? You want to educate Martha on proper alignment and posture. Which one works on proper alignment and posture? Acupressure, Alexander technique, active isolated stretching, or AMA? Alexander technique.
I do have a question though.
Yes. Yes, please.
What is, just because I can't think of it, but what is AMA?
AMA is Chinese medicine massage. It's the earliest form of Chinese medicine massage, the precursor to Tui Na. Have you heard of Tui Na?
No.
Okay, so usually when we think Chinese massage, we think Tui Na. And Tui Na is our hand techniques. This is Tui. This is Tui. And this is Na. Tui. Maybe this is Na. And this is Tui. Anyway, it's pushing and grasping.
Okay.
Tui Na. Right. Ama is the grandmother of Tui Na.
Got it.
Okay, the word massage is derived. What's that?
I was just kidding. I said she's also the hugging saint, right?
Ghost of the hugging saint? No.
No, she is the hugging saint, Amma.
She's also the hugging saint. Yes, yes. But that Amma is yes, yes. Good. The word massage is derived from the Hindi term champna, Greek, the Swedish word for relaxation, or the Japanese word for shiatsu. The fourth one is just a throwaway. The Japanese word for shiatsu, okay. Right. Swedish word for relaxation, Greek, or the Hindi term champna, massage. The root word massage. Where does it come from? Hindi,
Swedish.
Greek, or Swedish? Greek.
Oh,
The African and European physicians' accepted origin terms are Greek masain, to knead, or the Arabic mas, to press softly. Found in Douglas Graham's book, The History of Massage. Cherie was referred to you by a client. She has worked at a factory warehouse that makes envelopes for 2 years. Her job is operating a large piece of machinery. It requires her to abduct and adduct her right shoulder repeatedly. Abduct, adduct. Even though she's suffering from shoulder pain, she enjoys her job. You inform her that you can help her with some pain relief but it would be necessary for her to gain knowledge of proper alignment and continue working at her current position. What modality technique would you teach to give her the knowledge for applying proper posture and alignment while working? Would that be Alexander technique, activated isolated stretching, acupressure, or AMA? Knowledge for applying proper posture and alignment. Knowledge of posture and alignment. Which one would that be?
Alexander.
Would it be the oldest form of Chinese medical massage? Would it be the use of massage on acupuncture points? Would it be stretching to improve range of motion? Or would it be the method that promotes education and movement to improve posture and adjust condition patterns and Alexander technique? The 12 meridians, the 12 meridians have a peak flow for 2 hours per 24-hour period. What time of day does the liver peak? Okay, who has no idea? Raise your hand. Who's like, I don't want to think about this. Okay, Josh, you're the man. Let's go. So, liver. Where's the liver fall in the whole 12 meridian circuit? Beginning, middle, end-ish? Where?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, do you remember where the circuit starts? We always start the circuit with a specific meridian or organ. Which one's that?
No. No, I've got nothing.
Okay, all right, no problem. Who remembers where the liver falls?
I think it's
Yes.
it's the 1 to 3 a.m.
I was gonna say the
Yes.
same, 1 to 3 a.m.
Okay, and where in the circuit does the liver fall?
You mean
Beginning, middle-ish, or end?
the end?
The end, that's the right, it's the last one. The meridian energy cycles back to the lung. We always start the cycle with the lung, just so we can remember it.
Don't ask me the same
And
question 5 minutes from now. You might get a different answer.
And remember that the lung is associated with grief, and the grief time is 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Lung, 3 a.m. So if liver comes right before lung, that'd be 1 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Mm.
Nice. After checking to make sure you are not in danger, you approach a car accident. Which victim do you help first? An infant crying in their car seat, a female passenger that appears unconscious, a female yelling at the bleeding adult, or a young adult that is sitting on the side of the road with a cut on his arm? Who do you help first? An infant crying in their seat, a female passenger that appears unconscious, a female yelling at the bleeding adult, a young man sitting on the side of the road with a cut on his arm? Who do you think?
I think the infant.
I would say the unconscious female.
Probably. Remember, Sade,
No,
it's
I
not a
didn't
real.
read that she was unconscious. Like,
Oh, okay. Oh, you missed the unconscious part? Okay.
yeah.
I was gonna say it's not a real wreck. Like, it's different from real life. It's like a test.
Yeah.
You know, they want you to pick like the most correct answer. Your thinking has to be just a little bit different, you know? So yeah, unconscious is really, really important.
I read it.
Passenger. Yes. So always check the unconscious victim first. Always check the unconscious victim first for signs of breathing. Next, move on to the young adult with the cut arm. Being aware of the female and getting the infant then to a calm status. Get the infant to a calm status. You're gonna be busy.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. It's a test, not real life.
Yeah.
Okay, Julene has been a 911 dispatcher for 15 years. She is constantly on the computer. Her doctor diagnosed her with tendonitis in both elbows. She was referred to massage after physical therapy, was unable to completely relieve the symptoms. Which of the following treatments would help activate the body's natural healing abilities in order to gain symptom relief? Would that be Aston patterning, acupressure, active isolated stretching, or Aston technique? Which of the following treatments would help to activate the body's natural healing abilities in order to gain symptom relief? Activate natural healing abilities. Activate the body's natural healing abilities. Aston patterning, acupressure, active isolated stretching, or Alexander technique. Which do you guys think?
Active
Alexander.
Oh,
Those are all good guesses, which is why they put them there. The answer is acupressure. When you hear the words natural healing abilities, natural,
Oh,
this is how broad that is. Activate the body's natural healing abilities. Acupressure and acupuncture, what they do is they push fluids and chi. They push blood and chi. Blood and chi always move together. Blood is the mother of chi. Chi is the commander of the blood. So acupressure, let's see. Look at all these points they list, so ineffective. Okay, I want you to think acupressure activates the body's natural healing abilities. And Alexander technique is postural education. Active isolated stretching is athletic stretching to lengthen muscles and release fascia. Aston patterning includes massage, movement education, fitness training, postural evaluation, and environmental modifications. Like how the 911 dispatcher might be sitting or holding the phone or other workstation setup. When checking an ill or injured person who is breathing, what is the next step? Open the airway by tilting the head. Continue with CPR. Place the ill or injured in the recovery position. All of the above. If someone is breathing, do we do CPR in them? Do we open the airway by tilting the head if they're breathing? No. We place the ill or injured person in the recovery position. Many of your clients have been showing up with remnants of colds, sinus infections, and flu-like symptoms. Which of the following modalities would you use during treatment? And also give to your clients to use at home that can help boost or stimulate immune functions. Which of the following modalities would you use during treatment and also give to your clients to use at home to boost or stimulate immune functions? A lot of them have been showing with remnants of colds, sinus infections, and flu-like symptoms. Okay, equine massage means horse massage. You know, it's kind of insulting that they put that in there. Aromatherapy. Aston patterning. Remember, Aston patterning is massage, movement education, fitness training, postural evaluation, and environmental modifications. Attunement therapy, we didn't cover attunement therapy. Attunement therapy works with physiological elements of relational trauma, which are stored in the nervous system. Pretty interesting. Trauma stored in the nervous system, attunement therapy. Or is it aromatherapy? Equine massage, aromatherapy, Aston patterning, or attunement therapy. Something they can do at home that may help with colds or ease symptoms of cold, sinus infections, and flu-like symptoms. Aromatherapy. By the way, if somebody shows up for whatever it's worth at my clinic and they have like a flu or a cold or something like that, I have to send them home. After COVID, I can't have anybody in there who might have something. Flu, SRV, COVID, whatever. Strep. Sorry.
Yeah.
And they all know that. I tell them ahead of time. They cancel the same day. I don't charge them. It's like better that we just don't get people sick. Choose the correct modality that was founded by Dr. Ida Rolf in the 1940s. This system utilizes physical manipulations and movement awareness to bring the head, shoulders, thorax, pelvis, and legs into vertical alignment. Yes, this is an untitled single choice question. Ida Rolf, who do you think that was, Charday? Who do you think? Rolfing, yes. Who was it? Rolfing, that's a good question. Good work. The two organs associated with the water element. Josh, the water element, bones, winter. Which two organs? Stomach and spleen, liver and gallbladder, urinary bladder and kidney, small intestine and heart.
Yeah, C, 3.
Yes, urinary bladder and kidney. Which 12 meridians have a peak flow for 2 hours? The 12 meridians have a peak flow for 2 hours per 24-hour period. What time of day does the pericardium peak? Oh my God. If they ask you that question, it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? All right, let's count backwards. The let's go to the, actually, let's not count backwards. Let's take a look at the, where is Cam by Kim? Let's take a look at the circuits, the Meridian circuits. Okay, this one has the times on it, but I'm not going to show you the times yet. Right, so notice that okay, so notice that liver is last and pericardium is 3 before that, right? So it's liver, gallbladder, sangel, pericardium. They go in 2-hour increments. Do you guys remember what time the liver time is?
1 to 3.
1 to 3.
1 to 3, that's right. We always start the circuits with lung, and the lung time for grieving is 3 a.m. Remember Raleigh Brown, 3 a.m. And pericardium, to get to pericardium, you just count backwards by increments of 2. So that's 1 to 3, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it should be 7 to 9 p.m. Let's go back 1 slide, forward 1 slide. There you go, 7 to 9 pericardium. 7 to 9 pericardium. Liver 1 to 3, gallbladder, triple warmer, pericardium 7 to 9. Okay, let's see if we can right, question and answer. Yeah, so 11 to 1, 7 to 9, 3 to 5, 9 to 11 a.m., 7 to 9 p.m. This chart here is not too bad. Your family owns a thoroughbred horse ranch in Texas. They paid for you to attend animal massage school. You have studied the musculature of horses extensively. Your knowledge may be useful in keeping horses healthy and free from injuries. What is the name of your particular modality? Alexander technique, equine massage, canine massage, or aromatherapy? Equine massage.
Equine.
Which of the modalities is translated to mean sacred life force and is a 20th century treatment originating from Japan? Sacred life force, reflexology, Reiki, shiatsu, or shiatsu? From Japan, 20th century.
Shiatsu.
Not quite. Shiatsu means finger pressure.
Oh.
Yeah. It's Reiki.
I thought Reiki would have said something different, like mean something different.
Well, I think you have to think about, you have to know just enough of what each therapy does, and knowing something about the name helps, or about how it's administered. Reiki, there's no touch, and reflexology, there's heavy touch on the feet, for example. Shiatsu, there's always touch. Shiatsu, I don't know what shiatsu is. I think shiatsu is water shiatsu. Anyway. Okay, moving right along. When a person is seriously injured, you can cause additional injury and pain and complicate the person's recovery. If you move the injured, don't know CPR, don't check for vitals, none of the above. What do you think?
Move the injured.
Person is seriously injured. Yeah, if you move the injured, yeah. When a person is serious, Elena fell from a 2-story deck when she was a baby. She had no visible trauma or broken bones. Nobody saw the fall or impact. 32 years later, the fall is the only trauma that could be related to her lower back pain. If she does not exercise at least 3 to 5 times a week, her back locks up, making it difficult to perform her daily tasks. What modality can you introduce that can address emotional well-being and also works directly with the relational trauma stored in her nervous system? Which system works with trauma in the nervous system? Alexander technique, attunement therapy, active isolated stretching, or acupressure? Yes, Marcos.
Attunement therapy, because I do recall that. Yeah, the nervous system and attunement go together. So
That's right. What are your keywords for acupressure? Keywords for acupressure.
Natural healing, right?
That's right. Josh, what are your keywords for Alexander technique?
Posture, and that's what I got right now. Posture.
That would be good enough. That would be good enough. Posture and alignment. Yes. And then active isolated stretching. What keywords do you remember, Sade?
At, well, I looked at the active, like it usually says something about active.
It also says isolated,
Well,
like
yeah,
one muscle at a time, one area at a time.
yeah.
That's kind of a big hint. And then stretching. So what would you imagine the keywords would be for that?
What for isolated? Like, I mean, for that, if it was in there, like, just not as much movement, or
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
yeah,
like static
yeah,
stretching. Yeah, I think what they mentioned were athletic, lengthening, soft tissue fascia, range of motion. Yeah, athletic lengthening. That would be enough. Oh, look, here it is right here. Active isolated stretching. Athletic stretching method used to lengthen muscles and release the fascia, like athletic, lengthen, fascia. That's good. Acupressure. Acupressure, TCM finger or knuckle pressure working along the meridians. That is almost the same definition as shiatsu, but shiatsu is not here. It's not among the choices. Works to activate the body's natural healing abilities. Acupressure, for sure. Alexander technique, postural education. John loves being a kindergarten teacher. To communicate more effectively with his students, he squats down or sits on the floor with them. Knee and back pain caused him to adopt poor posture while teaching. His neck and shoulders are starting to complain as well. His benefits include 45 massages a year. John intends on taking full advantage of his treatments. What additional information could you give John beyond massage treatment that will help him obtain good posture and proper alignment to reduce pain cycles? Help him obtain good posture and proper alignment to reduce pain cycles. Good
Alexander
posture.
technique.
Yes, thank you. Alexander technique. Yes. Anyway, it works. What is the name of the non-invasive therapy designed by John E. Upledger? Ooh, from out of nowhere, Upledger. What do you think, Upledger? Is it active isolated stretching? No, I don't think so. Manual lymphatic drainage? No, I don't think so. Craniosacral therapy? Or Lomi? Which one do you guys think it is?
Cranial sacral.
Upledger. That's right, craniosacral. Did you know that already, or did you like figure that out?
No, so actually, I've had a cranial sacral treatment done before, and I mean, it's crazy what you feel, man. And it's crazy because I was in a
Yes.
classroom with a lot of people that couldn't feel it, like the pulse of the spinal fluid, I guess that's what it's about, right? And I mean,
Yeah.
it's just crazy the way it works.
Yeah,
How
and
you
if you
feel,
have,
how you feel the pulses with sight, light touch, it's very
yeah,
impressive.
yeah. And did you have it administered on you? Did you experience it?
Yeah, I experienced it, and I mean, I did because we had a cranial sacral instructor come in and do treatments on people, but the thing is that I was able to feel the pulse and I was able to get the treatment done, but yeah, it feels like just like pulses. It's all pulse, It's really crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It is
Yeah.
crazy. Yin channels originate from where the body is most yin and flows towards yang. What are the 3 meridians that originate at the foot? Okay, this is just like going to throw you off. Don't even worry about the first part of this sentence. What are the 3 meridians that originate at the foot? The 3 meridians that originate at the foot. So you got to think. The 3 that originate at the foot. There's 12 meridians, 6 in the foot, 6 in the hand. 3 originate in the foot, 3 end in the foot. So which ones originate in the foot? Is it the spleen, liver, and kidney? Or is it the stomach, gallbladder, and bladder? Which one originates in the foot and ends in the torso? Pericardium, heart, and lung? No, those are in the hand. Those start in the hand and end where? Josh, where's the heart? I'm sorry, those start in the where, Josh? In the chest and end in the hand. And then Sanjiao, small intestine and large intestine, those start in the hand and then end in the face.
Right, my guess was going to be spleen, kidney, and liver.
That's correct, actually. And then stomach, urinary bladder, and gallbladder start in the face and they end in the foot. All right, look at this. I mean, it's cool, but it's just not the most direct. It's like indirect. Okay, you graduated from a massage school 4 years ago. True story for some people. Part of your everyday massage theory and practice class was to go through a series of instructor-led movements to warm your body tissues to help keep your body mechanics in proper alignment while massaging. A few years into your own massage business, you are experiencing wrist and shoulder pain. You realize the problem is your posture positions during massage. What continuing education class would be a good reminder to help release these detrimental patterns and create pain-free movement in your body work? Would that be release detrimental patterns, posture positions? What are you thinking? What are you thinking right away? Posture positions. I'm thinking Alexander technique, but it's not there. It's got to be something similar. Aspen patterning, aromatherapy, attunement therapy, or equine massage. Attunement therapy, what are the keywords for that?
Nervous system.
Nervous system and what? The T word. What does a nervous system store after adverse experiences? Trauma, thank you. Aspen patterning. Jim works in a warehouse and is on his feet all day. He has been living with mild to moderate pain for 3 years. Lately, the pain has become unbearable. Jim's doctor has tried everything he can think of to relieve Jim's pain symptoms. He received 3 cortisone shots and tried muscle relaxers with no real lasting relief. Finally, Jim's doctor prescribed 12 massages to relieve his right side sciatic pain. What treatment will you use to stimulate the body's natural healing abilities? Marcos.
That one's gonna be acupressure.
That's right.
No, hey man, hey
and
Kim,
I guess
I can understand this perfectly now. Like, you know, it's like crazy how I can see through. Yeah, it's just good to know what everything means instead of trying to like guess, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad you have better understanding.
For sure.
Okay. So in the time we have left, which is just like 2 minutes, let's just get a jump on this on these hand techniques, which we're going to look at next time. So I'm just going to look something up. So let's take a look at mechanical versus reflexive effects. Oh no. Let's look at hot stone massage, because this is something that we don't have a whole lot of questions about. So let's just get some information on it so you can get some like knowledge foundation. Okay, so hot stone massage helps you relax, eases muscle tension, and damaged soft tissues through your body. Helps to relax and ease tense muscles and damaged soft tissues. Okay, yeah, all right. During a hot stone massage, smooth, flat, heated stones are placed on specific parts of your body. So if the question were, which therapy uses smooth, flat stones, heated stones, it would be hot stone massage. If it were, which therapy activates the body's ability to heal trauma in the nervous system, and hot stone is one of the choices, it wouldn't be hot stone massage. Benefits of hot stone massage: comforting and relaxing. You know, comfort is like highly underrated. Comfort is really important. The ability to feel safe, to like fully relax, very important. The heat aids depth, relieves from tension and pain, relief from stress and anxiety, boosts the immune system. Pretty interesting. Cancer management. Wow. Okay, I don't know anything about that. Let's see. Origins of hot stones, when used during a massage, allow the massage therapist. I'm sorry. The main difference between a hot stone massage and a regular massage is that the focal point of a hot stone massage is the use of stones to apply pressure during massage therapy session to promote relaxation. Regular massages don't use stones. Okay, so that's all for tonight, and I will expand the CAM slides, and you can study more about Chinese medicine and meridians. Next time, brush up on your mechanical and reflexive techniques of hand techniques, and we're going to go back to some anatomy, physiology, kinesiology type stuff. And I think we'll probably include like some medications, you know. So if you want to read about if you want to just like Google some basic information on like the differences between aspirin and NSAIDs, you know, similarities between aspirin and Coumadin or warfarin, you know, like medications that are used to thin blood, medications that are used to reduce cholesterol, medications that are used to relieve pain, medications that are used to reduce swelling and inflammation. Maybe you want to like take a look at those things. And there'll be some like really specific tricky stuff that I hope doesn't actually show up on the test, but we'll look at those next time. So there was a question, is what we're covering something that I'm teaching you, or are you going to see these questions on the test? So the answer is this is something that I'm teaching you.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to see these word for word on the test. The questions that I use come from places like MBLExprep and the AMTA app, which is great. That's a really well organized app. And AMTA is the one who makes the exam and administers the exam. So I look at those questions, I look at the sections, and then I look at things like this, like the breakdown of what's on each section, the different sections and what's in each section. And then I try to make up my own guides, right? So for example, the AMTA or MBLExprep or other people online, they may provide a drawing of the movement of meridians through certain time clock or certain areas of the body. But in order to teach you that, I find the ones that I think are clearest, or I make my own. And my focus is I try to make it half and half. I try to make half of our class time to be teaching concepts so that you can answer any question based on any question about that material. So tonight we're doing complementary and alternative medicine. It's actually called massage and bodywork modalities. I believe this is where CAM comes from. More about that in a minute. So I'm introducing you to concepts from acupuncture and Chinese medicine, Feldenkrais and Alexander technique, etc. We're also going to cover bodywork, like Western massage, so-called Western massage techniques. And half the class time will be spent discussing those concepts,
Okay.
so that you can have a foundation, actual knowledge foundation, and then we'll drill questions based on that knowledge during the other half of class time. We'll try to go through as many questions as we can. And as we go, pattern has been that if anything is unclear or confusing or you want more discussion, you just ask about that.
Okay. Thanks.
So I would love to be able to take questions directly from the old MBLEx exams and give them to you, but short of the AMTA app, just reading that down, which I have done in classes before, short of that, I wouldn't be able to do that. I would have to read from that app in order to do that. But I think it's more valuable to understand the concepts Okay, so what we're going to be covering tonight are massage and bodywork modalities. And we're also going to be covering some types of soft tissue techniques, including types of strokes, physiological aspects and benefits of touch, benefits of soft tissue manipulation for specific client populations. Understand that some of these, and physiological effects of soft tissue manipulation. Understand that a lot of these in these sections, a lot of the items have overlap. So when you discuss, for example, reflexive and mechanical effects of, a petrissage or whatever, that's both the physiological effects of soft tissue manipulation, and it's also the benefits of soft tissue manipulation for specific client populations, right? Because pregnant people versus non-pregnant, elderly versus children versus, middle age or whatever, soft tissue techniques and types of strokes, right? So there's, and it's a bodywork modality. So they may break a section down into 5 or 6 different items, different bullet points. My job is to try to give you just enough that's really comprehensive, but not too much that you feel overwhelmed. Recall that the examination. Let's see if I can zoom in. No, it's not. Recall that the examination. I hope you can see this. Is made up of anatomy and physiology. 11% approximately is anatomy and physiology. Kinesiology is, 12%. Always round these numbers. Think like 10 to 15%, like 10 to 15%. 15% pathology, contraindications, 15% benefits and physiological effects of techniques that manipulate soft tissue, 15 to 20% client assessment, 15 to 20% ethics, boundaries, laws, and regs, and then 15% guidelines for professional practice. This is all taken from the FSMTD massage and bodywork licensing examination content outline online. It's all available online. Okay, apparently I don't know how to advance that. And the questions that we're gonna go over tonight, they include Alexander technique and Feldenkrais. And they're also going to be Meridian and a few other things. I need to update the slide to include Meridians from Chinese medicine, 5 elements from Chinese medicine, and the clock, which is another Meridian related thing from Chinese medicine. And I put bold letters in I believe these are from this section of the MBLEx because I think that's where they're from. I'm not sure. I did do a search in the AMTA app looking at just the benefits and physiological effects of techniques that manipulate soft tissue. I didn't see any of these items on there. And YouGoPrep, they don't organize it, unfortunately, by section the same way that the AMTA does. Meaning I cannot pull up all questions from one section the way that I can on the AMTA app.